Shalom, everybody, and welcome to Rabbi E in 3. I'm Rabbi Yosef Edelstein. That's Rabbi E for short. And this podcast is a short burst of Jewish wisdom. Okay, that was a fake cough, contrived opening of the episode, but there have been anything but fake coughs and worse effects that thousands of people, millions of people maybe have experienced in the last few days, of course, as a result of the smoke from the Canada wildfires, which I want to talk about for a few minutes today, here, right now, to try to make some sense of this incredibly unforeseen, disruptive event in our lives. Fires thousands of miles away, suddenly making it hard for me to stroll in the suburbs of DC and Silver Spring. I'm an asthmatic, and therefore yesterday and the last couple of days, really hard. The air quality index, the small particulate matter index, off the charts. Even today, it's code purple. I have to be careful. I mean, crazy. What are we to make of this? Rabbi, things happen in the world. Fires start, smoke gets in your eyes. Okay, no, that's not the right attitude. We have an obligation as thinking people, as Jewish people too, to reflect and look deeply into the events in our private lives, and even more so, events on such a global scale, to try to gain some wisdom, some lesson from what transpires. And I want to share with you at least one of, I'm sure, many lessons from this Canada smoke. I'm sorry to call it that, and we hope and pray that Canada will be cleared and it'll be put out. We're sorry. I heard a similar idea, and I was inspired to share my take on it last night at a beautiful wedding in Baltimore. My wife and I attended of the daughter of a friend of ours, Rabbi Menachem Goldberger, well-known and wise Baltimore rabbi, said a similar idea to the bride and groom at the chuppah. We're interconnected. And an event like this reminds us of that in a very stark way, though we know it. A fire somewhere on one end of the globe, pollution, a decision economically by one government, a decision to go to war by another government far, far away, economically, politically, reverberations that affect everyone around the whole world. We're interconnected. And that's true. And we understand that on a physical level. But you might say, well, little old me, those kind of interconnections, they're for big events like this. No. Judaism teaches that we're spiritually interconnected in the same way. And that is to say that every one of us, with our individual deeds and words and even thoughts, have tremendous, unimaginable impact on those around us, on the whole rest of the world, on the cosmos, without an exaggeration. The good deeds we do, whether it's kind words, kind gestures, the actual mitzvot of the Torah, create, our rabbis tell us, light, spiritual energy, illumination, and that ascends, if you will, or that elicits from Hashem to send more light and illumination spiritually to this world. To change metaphors, the good deeds we do and the good words create a beautiful aroma spiritually, a clear, pure, pristine spiritual atmosphere or spiritual smoke that spreads throughout the world and that affects other people and their ideas and their moods and their attitudes in ways we can't empirically measure, but that are absolutely true. Everything we do has unimaginable effects. Certainly we can see, well, actually, we don't even see even around us, a kind word, a good morning can profoundly change the course of one person's day, and that can affect so much ripple effect beyond that. But it's way beyond that. Everything we do affects everything else. And God made us partners in creation, Judaism teaches, so that he'll bring more light into the world when we do actions that bring light to the world, mitzvot and good deeds. The opposite is true too. If we do selfish and egotistical and nasty things, transgressions, in other words, we cause foul, cough-provoking smoke, so to speak, to permeate the world, and then Hashem sends less light and pure air down to this world as a result, because we're partners with creation. He gave us that awesome responsibility. It's actually even in this week's Torah portion, a similar idea, Behaloscha, in the book of Bamidbar, Numbers, because it begins with the commandment for Aaron, the high priest, to light the golden menorah in the tabernacle or the temple. And that menorah symbolized the light of Jewish wisdom, the light of the Torah. It wasn't for the physical light of the Kohen working in the temple why it was lit. It was lit to symbolize that idea that what the temple represented, Torah values, illuminate the whole world and go out from Jerusalem when we had the temple to the rest of the world. But every deed we do goes out, spreads light, spreads beautiful, sweet smelling aroma that makes the atmosphere lovely and elevates each of us in ways we can't imagine, or the opposite. May we all commit ourselves to do good deeds and say good words and have good positive thoughts, create sweet smelling aroma and not foul, cough provoking smoke. Have a wonderful Shabbat and hear me next time. Breathe in the fresh air. Thank God, getting better.